Well, as a kid, I lived in Southeast Pompano, right near a Catholic school called St. Coleman's. Mm-hmm. And my next door neighbor, or 2 doors down, was Brownie. Mm. Brownie's the guy that developed the third lung.
Right.
And this is in the 1970s. And he would throw me in his pool and make me breathe through his floating respiratory.
Wait, was this like a prototype?
This is the third lung and how it was built and how it started.
Okay, but you weren't a test dummy, were you?
Yeah, I was 5 to 8 years old.
I guess you were expendable at that.
Stick a mouthpiece in my mouth and throw me in the pool.
Oh, my Lord. Ahoy! This is your captain speaking, Greg Michael of Pinnacle Marine Group, Marine Surveyors. And welcome aboard the Nauti Buoys Boat Show. I'm joined by Captain Happy, Glenn Shadbolt, Marine Mechanic and Shipwright. And aboard this vessel, we talk everything about boats. The build, the mechanics, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We go where the seas take us. The topics will be endless. Electronics, marinas, restaurants, vacations, cruising and fishing. Our show includes live callers with real questions. Let's fare these waters together. Call 772-773-2600. Every Tuesday between 5 and 5:30 p.m. Eastern. If you're a guest or a caller, you certainly are naughty. Ahoy, and welcome to the Nauti Buoys Boat Show. I'm your host, Captain Greg Michael, Marine Surveyor, and sitting next to me is our beloved Captain Happy, Glenn Shadbolt, Marine Mechanic and Shipwright. And if you're a guest or a caller, you certainly are naughty. So some quick introductions. Glenn, say hi.
Hey.
Hey, all right. And today we have Chris Berkeley from Yacht Lender. Say hi, Chris.
Hey, now.
All right, good. So every week I start the show with a little joke. We call it the naughty joke. And Glenn hates them, but I think I do it to torture you.
I don't hate them. Why would I hate it? I just...
Why?
Because I'm not on the floor bowled over in laughter?
Do you think I do it to torture you now?
I don't even care.
You don't care?
Let's just get it done with. It's introduction. Give me more time to drink to get ready for this.
All right. So you drink your beer and I'll tell the joke. All right. So here's a naughty joke for you. On their way to get married, a young Catholic couple is involved in a fatal car accident. The couple find themselves sitting outside the pearly gates waiting for St. Peter to process them into heaven. While waiting, they begin to wonder, could they possibly get married in heaven? When St. Peter showed up, they asked him, St. Peter, can we get married in heaven? He said, I don't know. This is the first time anyone's asked me that. Let me go find out. So he leaves. The couple sat and waited. 2 months passed, and the couple are still waiting. While waiting, they begin to wonder, what would happen if it didn't work out? Could you get a divorce in heaven? After yet another month, St. Peter finally returns looking somewhat bedraggled. He says, yes, he informs the couple, you can get married in heaven. They said, great. But we were just wondering, it's always been our dream to get married on a ship in the ocean. Do you have any ships in heaven? St. Peter says, yes, we have ships, but he becomes very red-faced and very angry, slams his clipboard down on the ground, and the couple says, what's wrong? He says, well, it took me 3 months to find a priest up here. Do you have any idea how long it's going to take me to find a captain?
Ooh, I like that.
Good one?
Well, it makes me think. Did you hear about the latest story about the rich Russians?
No.
I'm already having the bag.
So. No, go.
So out there, these Russian guys, you can rent a super yacht.
Okay.
With machine guns, bazookas, and everything. And rich Russian guys are going by the Somali pirates.
Yeah.
So if they come to try to take the ship, they can blow them away.
They're just shooting them.
But it's like a charter.
So it's...
Well, you got to get a captain.
It's like fun and games.
What do you put, AC/DC, shoot the thrill or something? You're up there on the deck.
It's human fishing, right?
Oh, what a trip. But
oh, my God.
Anyway, go on with the show.
Oh, Lord. So, so there's no priests and captains in heaven, huh?
I know the guy running my charter better not be. On a 50 on the front.
Okay, good. All right, so in just a minute, we're going to have Chris talk numbers and certainly about his company and what he does, and a little fishing, right, Chris?
A little bit of fishing.
Okay, good. We're going to have a call-in questions and answer segment. So the call-in number again, everybody, for out there, 772-773-2600. Okay, so let's start with Chris. Chris, start from the beginning. How'd you get into lending? You're lending money for people who want to buy boats. So how'd you get into this?
I had terrible credit coming out of college, and
That's gotta be a great story.
the terrible credit came from college, from misbehaving.
Yeah.
And I submitted a loan application to a South Florida lender.
Yeah.
Got qualified and bought the boat. Thought the world of the person that pulled it off because I didn't deserve it. Became friends with him and fished and had a good time and ended up schnookering me or befriending me and got me into this whole thing.
All right. So, and you're originally from Florida.
Yes, South Florida, Pompano Beach.
Oh, Pompano Beach is gorgeous. Really nice place. And
Used to be nicer.
it used to, we go down to Miami right now. I don't recognize it. So I used to vacation there as a kid, and it's a different place.
They called it Miami.
Right. So where's your office located? Where are you, mainly stationed?
I'm a banker that works for Bank Newport, which is stationed out of Rhode Island or headquartered out of Rhode Island,
Okay.
Newport, Rhode Island, and currently work from my home, managing a book of business for the Southeast.
Okay. So will you write a loan for somebody in, say, New York?
Yes, I have nationwide lending authority.
Oh, you do?
Private party, brokered business, dealer business.
Okay. And let's get into a sensitive subject. Let's talk interest rates. Has that affected your business? And what are the rates? I don't even know what the rates are anymore.
It's really, to most people, it's not sensitive. You're their friend until you're 1 basis point out of the money, and that's a penny on a dollar.
Right.
So if one bank's at 5% and you're 5.01, you're out.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter that you can perform and close the loan. It matters what rate is better. Rates went up dramatically over the past couple of years.
Yeah.
They were fighting inflation is what they thought, but they were really fighting a problem of supply and ships not coming in and us not having product. So the product that was here got sold for more dollars. Yep. To compensate for that, the rates went way up. They went up 5 points in about a period of a year.
So let's say 4 or 5 years ago, what were your rates on a $500,000 purchase?
Average rate would be 3.75 to 4.25.
And today?
7% flat.
So what that tells me is let's take a bread and butter boat, right? So I surveyed, I don't know how many, 34, 37 formulas or sea rays or 40-foot sea rays or that guy who could buy that boat at 3.5 could never afford that boat at 7 or 8. So we've shrunk that market just basically because we raised rates. And that now affects everybody. It affects me as a surveyor, right? So I'm not getting as many surveys because there's not as many boats being sold. Do you find that in your business? It shrinks your business, the rates?
Yes, it should. Your logic is spot on, but there's a lot of things that don't make sense that are unpredictable in our business. And a lot of it in my footprint is a compulsive type A personality that wants the boat and doesn't care what it costs.
That's me. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what the problem with that on the mechanic side is? People are trying to buy a boat, and they're buying it on margin, and they have no idea that it needs $30,000 to $100,000 worth of work, and there's no money left. And like you start, it's like, how did I get involved in this?
Right.
Yeah. So
the boat really shouldn't be sold on margin. I mean, because you can't afford what's coming. It's a money pit, man.
I think the rates have been tolerable and manageable because historically, when I started in this business in the 90s, the rate was around 9%. And people were happy and the economy was thriving and everyone was doing well. I actually began in Atlanta, and that was a home of several Fortune 500 companies. So all of these guys calling in for boat loans, some girls, were abundantly qualified. They had good incomes. It's just that through the years, boat prices have gone way up. And the boat then versus the boat now costs a lot more. And it's more a function, to me, the cost dynamics are more a function of the boat than they are the rates.
So you seem like you're really in tune with the industry. Why do you think the cost of boat building has gone up? Is it labor? Is it product? Is it resins, fiberglass? Is it or is it artificially inflated? Well, is it artificially inflated? What's your opinion on that?
Oh, God.
There's just all of the above, you could say. Labor's more expensive. At one point in the outboard market, you couldn't get a Mercury or Yamaha shipped from Japan.
Right.
And although some of them are put together, I think, in the Midwest for Mercury, right? You still couldn't get them. If you can't get them, you can put any number you want on them.
Right.
And then insurance is very expensive. Workman's comp is hardly affordable, but there was a supply shortage of resins. So they were actually budgeting how much resin each builder would get, and they sold them in 55-gallon drums. So the drums would be allotted to the popular or larger builders, but the smaller builder might have to wait a month for one drum.
Right.
He can't build a boat.
Yeah.
That was the COVID problem. But I don't know. The U.S. is still kind of in a weird predicament because the supply shortages have improved. You can get things now. You can build a boat on schedule, but the prices are much higher.
Yeah. Yeah.
The cost of labor has gone way up.
So what I'm trying to get at is the normal guy, the middle-class guy who used to go out and buy that 34-foot Sea Ray, right? I use that as the boat because that's vanilla. Those guys, it's getting few and few. Those guys don't exist anymore. It's a rich man's sport again. And that's the shame of this whole thing.
The typical borrower in the earlier years that I did this was your school teacher married to a fireman.
Right.
The fireman would make $75,000. The school teacher would make $35,000 or $40,000.
Right.
Combined household income would be around $110,000, $120,000. And since my focus was more on the fishing side, that was the 31 contender with a pair of outboards.
Sure.
And that guy could afford it, and that trucked along. But the boat back then in the early 2000s was $100,000 to $120,000, depending how you outfitted it. But today that boat is $350,000, $400,000.
Right.
And that fireman only makes $120,000, and the school teacher makes $40,000 to $50,000.
Right.
So their income didn't move proportionately with the cost of the boat.
No, it's lopsided now.
The 34 Sea Ray, how much is that now?
Well, you could still find them for $100,000. You know, you could 80
used
grand.
boat.
Yeah, used boat. So
Merc Cruisers.
A1s, if you do the maintenance, it's expensive. It's a very expensive.
Those are the $1 million motors. Though.
Here's another Captain Obvious answer to an important question: is why they cost so much. Well, a lot of these businesses have been sold.
Right.
We almost had a massive mess on our hands because OneWater tried to take over Marine Max a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it didn't work. But if they did that, then there'd be a monopoly on mid-sized cruising boats.
Yeah. Well, OneWater owns Intrepid now, I think, right?
I think Marine Max owns Intrepid.
And Marine Max also owns Cruisers Inc. So they own cruisers. They own,
Sea Ray.
Sea Ray, yeah. So they're owning these boats, these boat manufacturers, and you're right, it can be a monopoly, and they can say, here's the price, period. You know?
But all the ma and pa's in your backyard used to be Sundance.
Right.
It's not Sundance.
No.
It's OneWater.
Right.
So as that happens and they pay premiums for these dealerships, out goes your best buddy John, and in comes a corporate suit,
right.
and the corporate suit's got to get paid, and all the prices go up.
Yep. Yeah. So, yeah, we were seeing that in New York. Everything was safe harbor, one water. I mean,
they just took it over.
They took over everything.
And you know what? Come to think of it, they were talking about the 4 piers improvement.
Yeah.
Instead of a super yacht. More smaller boats, but anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's, do you do that in your business? Are you in the super yacht market or no?
No, we go into, I'd say, higher level boats into the Westport Benetti class, the 130, 150, but not the super yacht Tridecks and the international cruising yachts. Those are so big that they get syndicated, and 2 or 3 banks could merge loaning or lending efforts because it's too big.
Yeah, $20 million's a lot of money for a boat for a bank to just lay out. So I get it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. How do you help the people? Like you said, when you purchased your boat and you were lucky to get that loan, is there a way you can help people to get loans that normally couldn't? Do you have certain programs, or is there anything that you specialize in?
That's what you do. You quarterback them. You coach them. You explain the process. If they're not qualified in your conversation over the phone, you tell them what they need to do to get qualified.
Okay.
And you have to be really blunt and direct about it, but at the same time, a little compassionate and kind of just say, okay, you're 21 years old and you don't have anything going on other than you just left a house.
Right.
Of course you don't qualify. You got to get Pops on board.
Yeah.
You got to hope Pops is on board and see if he'll sign for you or with you.
Right. Right. And you could tell a couple, listen, pay down that credit card debt a little bit, come back to me in a few months, something like that.
Yeah, the credit card debt is a component of credit score. If you let that credit card, balance right up, then your score is going to fall way down.
I don't think you should buy a boat if you got credit card debt.
Yeah.
Take care of business. You're losing it all to interest. That's a silly move. But anyway.
Right. So what's the toughest clients you have? I mean, what's the toughest situations you face in the lending world?
Well, there's the toughest loans are always the multifaceted developers that have their hands in 200 projects nationally, and they have every single company's in an individual corporation or LLC, and you have to analyze that company for 3 years times 200.
Right.
So you got to figure, and then they depreciate the pants off of it, so they lose their pants on every single thing with it, and then you have to add it back and figure out if they actually cash flow.
Right. So Bob Smith, who signs Bob Smith, is easy, but that guy who owns, these corporations, LLCs, and that's a tough thing.
It's not tough. It's just very involved.
Right.
I'm used to it, pretty good at it. Have a big background in tax and credit, and understand it. It's just a lot of work.
Right. So I'm going to move on. We'll get to a little lighter and easier subject. So I saw some of your articles in Marlin Magazine, right?
Right.
You were a contributing writer.
Yeah, we had friendships with all the writers, Dave Farrell and Charlie Levine and some of those guys back in the day.
Yeah.
And they said, hey, we need 300 words. We need 400 words. Right. And you have to do it right now. Stop what you're doing and get me that article.
Right.
So I would, a lot of times would just do a little preliminary thing for a boat show or some event they're doing. They used to do something called Marlin University. Mm-hmm. And they wanted people to know how they could afford a boat. Right.
So Glenn would be in trouble. He doesn't have 300 words in his vocabulary, so you can't write for him. You don't want to match
300, huh?
300.
Should I just bark?
Yeah.
So, but in these articles in your magazines, you're very involved in fishing.
Right.
So, talk to me about some of the fishing adventures, the tournaments. So, let's talk about that.
Well, as a kid, I lived in southeast Pompano, right near a Catholic school called St. Coleman's. And my next door neighbor, or 2 doors down, was Brownie. Brownie's the guy that developed the third lung.
Right.
And this is in the 1970s. And he would throw me in his pool and make me breathe through his floating respiratory.
Wait, was this like a prototype?
This is the third lung and how it was built and how it started.
Okay, but
It's
you
like-
weren't a test dummy, were you?
Yeah, I was 5 to 8 years
I
old.
guess you were expendable at that.
Stick a mouthpiece in my mouth and throw me in the pool.
Oh my Lord!
But Brownie also had snook in his backyard,
Right.
and he allowed me to poach his snook out of his backyard.
Nice.
You know, I would almost do that.
Yeah.
I
Right.
can't catch those fuckers, man. God damn.
So
Oh, I'm sorry.
it started at an early age, just canal fishing around Broward County, and you'd ride your bike to the different spots. You'd net your mullet with your 3-4 foot cast net, and you'd go fishing.
Good.
And you break into places you didn't belong, and you fish their stuff, and it was a good way to be a kid back then.
Right. And tournament fishing. Talk to me about what you've done there.
It's just both a culmination of inshore and offshore stuff. The inshore stuff has mainly been focused around the Keys and a little bit in the Bahamas, a little bit in the Everglades or that footprint,
Right.
and been successful. There used, I don't know if they still do it, but there's one tournament locally called Michael Shields, and I was the champion angler there and
nice.
first place team.
Oh,
It's
congratulations.
kind of an all-nighter. You have to pull. You just, if I remember correctly, it's like you left on a Friday and you come back Saturday afternoon. You fish all night, but all the money went to their charity. I believe it was to help the Boys and Girls Club.
And what were you fishing for?
Around here, it was snook, trout, redfish, and tarpon.
Nice. Okay, good. Offshore. Give me the big stuff.
Offshore's been billfish. There is a big contingency of king mackerel fishermen and tournaments with that, but I never focused on that. It was always billfish, and it was with coworkers and friends from just being around the sport.
What about Team Hatteras? I saw that.
Oh, that was just invitation. Hatteras was obligated to their dealers, and their dealers couldn't fish very well. So when they had a tournament or a spot, they would bird dog me into there and ask me to fish for them. So
We were
that
selling Makos in the
Hatteras,
late 90s. We had the fishing tournament in West Hampton. We did the whole Mako tournament. Oh, what?
Yeah.
so there,
It's 4 feet of water the whole way out. But yeah, good luck with that.
there was a guy named Terry Stansel that would invite me, and another guy named Dave Fields, and I would sneak in there kind of on the down low and just appear in the cockpit.
Nice. So you mentioned a lot of names pre-show. We were talking. Who's the best fisherman you were with? Give me a couple of guys.
It's too hard to answer. On the bridge of an offshore fishing boat, you'd have to say Chip Schaefer or Sam Crutchfield, both from Fort Pierce.
Right.
And we're talking global recognition.
Yeah, these guys are pretty famous.
Yeah. But there's so many good ones. You'd have to talk for 20 minutes about all the good ones because they deserve the credit too. But if I had to put 2 on there, I'd put those 2. And then inshore, I spent a lot of time with Paul Tahara, and he taught me a lot. He introduced me to fly fishing, and locally, Sam Crutchfield again on the inshore side. Mike Holliday is another good one here. Haven't fished with him very much, but he's certainly, one of the guys that knows where they're at.
Yeah. So, are you just doing South Florida? Or are you traveling?
Traveling.
Yeah. Where are you going to fish? Fly fishing. Where are you doing that?
Lately it's been the Glades.
Really?
Down in Chokoloskee and 10,000 Islands.
Okay.
But you can bass fish out here in Okeechobee or up north in Vero off 60. There's some spots, and you can inshore fish. It's, situational with the weather.
Right.
If it's really hot and balmy right now. You fish in the mornings and nights in the lakes, or you can come out here and one popular thing locally is the dock lights for snook at night.
Yeah.
And you're not.
Well, snook's not in season.
You're not getting. You're letting them go. And
You fish for them, you let them go.
I fish to eat, so it's different.
You fish
Yeah.
to eat.
I do.
but you slide into these little dock lights real quietly, and you shoot the fly in there and strip it across the light, and you just watch them eat it.
Okay, cool. Let me ask you this. Have you fished the Northeast at all?
Not with any dedicated effort. I did some closings for Viking up in that Boston footprint off Hyannis, and they were inviting me to go tuna fishing, but I was more on the observing side than fishing side.
Right.
I would say the farthest north I've fished with any degree is Ocean City.
Oh, Ocean City, Maryland.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good.
They host a big tournament.
White Marlin tournament.
Yeah, the White Marlin Open. Yeah.
That's a great tournament. So yeah, Glenn and I were Northeast guys. I did the canyons a lot, tuna, mahi, shark. We did all that stuff, but it gets expensive. I mean, to get 5 guys on your boat and whack it all up and fuel and bait, and it's
Ice.
tough. Ice and it's tough. Well, ice is the big cost.
No, but just ice.
He
We're going
gotta
through
put
the
ice in
list.
there.
You get up in the morning. You have to get the ice. You got the bait. You got.
So Glenn said beer and ice. That's it.
I was just putting the shopping list together. Do you get the battery hooked up? Is there a tape in there? We're not going to tape for nothing.
Right.
The CD, the chip.
So,
we got shore power.
So let's say fishing is a great passion of yours.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And the lending part. This is all really you've done your whole career.
This is a glass of red Cabernet
Yeah.
with a filet mignon
Okay. Gotcha.
because they go hand in hand.
They do.
So if you can fish, these builders can fish too.
Yeah.
John Bayless and Paul Spencer.
Yeah.
Mark Willis here in Stewart. I mean,
Yeah.
these guys fish.
Pat Healy fishes.
Pat Healy,
all those-
he's
yeah.
great.
He's great. Yeah.
And these guys understand that. And if you have their vocabulary and you've been around the docks with them, then they begin to trust you.
Right.
And, the financing kind of goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
They know you, they trust you.
And Pat's boys now, they're adults. They're big into the fishing and selling and Valhalla now. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, it's really interesting. Good. So we're going to, I've been getting calls, signs for calls, but how do people give me phone number, website? How do people get in touch with you? They want to buy a boat. They need a loan. Go. How do they get in touch with you?
Chris Berkeley, phone number 772-559-8588. And my email is chris@yacht-lender.com. The website is just in construction, so it's not really going to be that useful. But if you Google my name, I'm all over Google. You can just learn a little bit about me just through Google search.
Okay, good. All right, so we're going to take a call right now, and let's see. Hi, welcome to Nauti Buoys Boat Show. Who am I speaking with, and who's your question for?
Hi, my name is Sally, and I have a question for Chris.
Okay,
Hey,
Chris.
Sally.
Hi, Chris. I live in South Florida. My husband and I are thinking about buying a new cruising yacht.
Okay.
Something that he can fish off of, but I also need something that I'm comfortable in. So we're just kind of wondering, we're considering boats and we want to finance we want to finance it, but, I'd like to know if I can give you my information over the phone. Can you give me an approximate range of what loans I might be able to get approved for?
Yeah, let me grab a pen and I'll take notes while you talk. Just walk me through your particulars. What's your credit score like?
The credit score should be somewhere between 750 and 775.
Okay, you're right in that perfect range. And you've borrowed money of this sort of size in the past. You have a complete credit history?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Our joint income is around 500,000, gross.
All right. So
And
that...
then Yeah, then we have our assets that we have set aside is about 400,000 liquid, and we have around $1 million in retirement accounts.
Okay, good. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's great.
Thank you.
So what I'd first ask would be, what is your debt load like? What do you owe certain banks now? Do you have outstanding mortgage, car payments, credit cards? What do you owe?
Our mortgage right now, we have about $250,000 left. Our payment is around $2,500 a month, and the home's worth around $750.
Okay, that gives me a lot to go with. The way you do this is we'll bake a boat loan cake here, and the ingredients of your cake are going to be your credit, your income, your assets, and together, hopefully it comes out of the oven tasting good. But the way we do this is we walk backwards before we walk forwards. We walk through the income side, and at $500,000, you said that puts us at 41,000. If I'm adding it correct or dividing, you take $500,000 divided by 12, and you have a $41,000 a month gross income. Then you back into what can you afford in a debt ratio. So we multiply that out by about 37%. We come up with a figure right above 15,000. So in terms of what can you spend in terms of outstanding credit, the number is 15,000. So then we look at that and we back into a boat payment. A boat payment now in rough order is about $7,500 per million. So we have to look at a couple of other factors. Besides the debt ratio, there's a payment to income ratio, which you're not to exceed 15%. But looking at the PTI and DTI, I'm estimating by backing into it with your 400,000 on the sidelines for a down payment, the $1 million in retirement accounts. If you looked somewhere in the range of about $1 million one boat, put 200,000 down, the numbers say you'll qualify for about 900,000. And that should put you in the driver's seat for a beautiful cruising boat.
Yeah.
I think you can always, the better thing with pre-approvals is to get approved for a larger number, and then you can come down.
Sounds like quite a complicated thing. I would advise she should call you to sharpen pencils.
Yeah, we'll sharpen it up.
And then we'll...
But that's...
that's very interesting.
It's quite, in depth, so...
I never saw it done like this. That was great.
So we could just do it another way. Thanks, Sally. Appreciate the call.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sally.
If you had 10,000 in income a month, you could spend 3,700.
Yeah.
It used to be 40%. As incomes rise, you can go up to 50%. But you gotta think about other things too. You don't want to blow through your savings.
Yep. Let me grab this one. Hi, welcome to Nauti Buoys Boat Show. Who am I speaking with, and who's your question for?
Yeah, my name's Mike. I'm calling you from New York, and it's for the Captain Greg Michaels. I have some questions concerning a boat that I'm looking to jump into.
All right, Mike, what's your question?
I currently have a Tiara, 2004 Tiara 3500 open.
Nice boat.
1,100 hours. Beautiful blue oil grip, well-maintained boat.
Nice.
And I'm looking for a second stateroom, to actually use the boat with a little bit more of a weekend hotel room. And I'm budget conscious, so, I got to be careful how much more I spend. And I got my eyes set on like a 42 Silverton convertible.
What year are you looking at?
I'm looking at anywhere from 04 to 08.
Great. So, what's your question? You want to know about the Silvertons? You want to know if they're good quality? What do you want to know?
Yeah, I would like to know if they're good quality. There's 3 different engine packages on them. There's the Cummins, which I love Cummins engines.
Yep.
There's the Volvos, and then there's the Yanmars that I hear have some valve issues.
Yeah.
So I'd like to hear about the power first.
Okay, so Power first. I'm a Cummins guy. Love Cummins. Great motors. They're pretty much bulletproof. Volvos, again, they've come a long, long way. So I wouldn't
Parts.
be afraid. Yeah, but I wouldn't be afraid of the Volvos. The Yanmars, I had Yanmars in my Viking. Great motors. So they'll probably have the 440s in that Silverton, and they did have valve problems. So once you do the valve kits on those Yanmars, they're pretty solid engines. So
What does a valve kit cost to do the valves? If you're doing it
I think you're probably going to be around for both engines around $15,000.
Wow.
So maybe a little more. But once they're done, they're pretty solid engines. So, but if they haven't done them, you could have some collateral damage on those engines. So they really got to be checked out. Now, as far as the boat itself, Silverton, people are always like, well, up in the Northeast in Jersey, you had Silverton, Egg Harbor, Viking. You had all these boats up there, and
I like
Ocean.
Silvertons.
Yeah, and everybody said, well, it's not a Viking. It's not, it's not a Viking.
But I can run a cable. I could do this.
Right.
I could do that. I like Silverton.
Right.
Just
So
as on a mechanic.
I can tell you this: the early 2000 and late 1990s, early 2000s, Silverton had the gel coat problem. But the years you're looking at, they didn't have that problem. The checking of the gel coat. I like Silverton. I think it's a great mid-tier, good boat. They ride pretty well. You're not overpaying for name. The quality's decent. Divinycell cord, hull sides, solid bottoms. They stay together. And when I survey them, they certainly stay together. And so we're not talking about the 1970s or 80s Silvertons that had big problems. We're talking about a modern boat.
408. Yeah, the lines look pretty good.
Yeah.
The salon lets a lot of light in through the windows, which is pretty nice,
I had a friend who had a 45. The boat was an animal. It was a great boat. We fished it.
You cannot find the 45s now.
I know.
There's very few out there.
Everybody wants them. Yeah. So for the money, I think you're getting a lot of bang for your buck. I think they stay together. They're a good boat. Definitely have it surveyed. And definitely.
How would you compare it to a 42 or 44 Sea Ray sedan bridge? Is it the same level or different ride?
So I would say that the Silverton and the Sea Ray is probably in the same tier. Sea Ray maybe a little bit better quality at those years. But you're going to get more versatility out of that Silverton because it's a better fishing boat, right? You have more of an open. Yeah, you have more of an open cockpit. So if you're a fisherman, definitely the Silverton. If you're just a cruiser, the Sea Ray 44 sedan bridge was an awesome. The 42 and the 44 was an awesome boat. So
they're beautiful boats.
And they came with Cummins, So I would say those are the two you can definitely look at. But I will tell you this: I have no reservations about you buying a Silverton. Good boat.
Yep. As long as you survey it, and the more reading I've been doing, they say, if you're a hardcore fisherman going out to the canyons off Long Island, 75 miles out, you might be better equipped in a Hatteras or a Bertram or something, or an Ocean.
Yeah, Viking, something like that. Yeah.
But if you see, most of our boating, we can see land, and we want to be able to use it as a hotel room. Do they rock a lot there, Greg? Because I know some of the smaller Bertrams rock a lot with the wind.
Yeah, the Bertrams have probably the most aggressive dead rise aft. So that V is really deeper the V, it's going to rock. The Silvertons were pretty good. They weren't that aggressive. Vikings, all the Vikings back then had a 15.5 degree dead rise, so they weren't real rockers. But you want a good entry. You want a good dead rise aft because you want to cut through the waves. So I think the Silverton would be a really good budget choice. If you're looking to spend double the money, then you go into a Viking. But from what you're telling me, what you use the boat for, the utility, just cruising, seeing land, not really going far, I think it's a great choice for you.
Yeah, Long Island, Block Island.
Yeah, no, yep. Very comfortable, very nice.
Great Peconic.
Yeah. it'll be very nice for you. So,
Yeah.
all right.
That's good. All right, thank you. And you'll be the guy we call when we survey. And if you know anybody looking for a Tiara, 2004 Tiara, 3500, just shout my name.
You got it, Mike. Thanks for the call, and make sure you subscribe and follow.
I'm an avid listener. You're doing a wonderful job.
All right.
Very knowledgeable.
Thanks, Mike. Take care. All right. So, Trocky bought that company, and he's
Egg Harbor.
Yeah, Egg Harbor, Silverton. He's been trying to get boats out there, but I haven't seen anything built. I mean, there's just nothing. So I think he was better at the breast augmentation surgeries than he is building boats. So.
I fished with him in Key West, and it wasn't a fishing. It was like a boat ride.
Yeah.
He wanted to be seen leaving the docks.
Yeah.
And then we had to bring him right back again. So we lost fishing time.
There you go. All right, got another call. Hey, welcome to Nauti Buoys Boat Show. Who am I speaking with, and who's your question for?
Hi, this is Al Beal for Chris.
All right, Chris.
Hey there, Al.
Hey, so as you know, I've been a boat enthusiast for a long time, and you've helped manage a bunch of my boat loans. In fact, all of them. So I'm thinking sport fisher, and I'm kind of interested in what the financing is. Is there a down payment? Are there loans along the way based on months or milestones like building a house?
Oh, you want to take it from you want to build a boat, like put something together on draft it up with one of the custom boat builders?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's a dream. What we do is we initiate a line of credit for you in concert with the builder. We approve the builder, and then we move forward. The initial down payment comes from you, and the down payment percentage depends on the price of the boat. As the price of the boat goes up, so is the down payment. On a construction loan, as there's more risk, that starts really at about 30% commitment from you, and then we give you a checkbook for 70%, and send a surveyor out to examine the boat during the build. And usually these guys like customarily monthly draw payments. So we get you to sign off and approve the draw payment, and the surveyor will show us photographs to make sure the boat's actually being worked on and it matches up with the build. As the boat gets towards the end is the exciting part, and family's going crazy and you're ready to go, we flip it to a permanent loan, and then you just have a kind of a rock steady fixed rate and everything's good to go.
Nice.
Just take a bottle of champagne and hit the bow.
It's good. All right. Did he answer your question?
Yeah. Do you have to make payments along the way too, in addition to your down payment, or not till the end?
You know that answer.
Of course, you got to make payments.
But the payments you can swallow a little better because they only are based on the balance that you draft. So as the size of the line of credit increases or the balance increases, then the payments go up. You take the balance divided by 12 with the interest rates. So say it's $1 million at 7%. That'd be $70,000 on the $1 million, and then you add that into the balance and divide by 12, and you got your monthly payment.
There you go.
So it's pretty manageable. You don't get principal back until you start your regular loan.
All right, good.
But yeah, good hearing from you, Al.
A lot.
Yeah.
All right, Al, listen.
Good talking to you.
Yeah, definitely listen, follow, and subscribe.
Will do.
All right, thanks, brother.
Thank you.
Bye. Oh, good. So you do construction loans too?
Yeah, that's been fun. You get to see the boat go from the beginning to the end.
Right.
You get to see something, usually a work of art created right in front of your eyes.
Yeah. I've done new build surveys, and it's a lot of fun, Tell them what they're doing wrong right up front.
You're an important piece of it.
Yeah.
Because we need to know that the boat's getting worked on.
Exactly. All right, here we go again. Hi, welcome to Nauti Buoys Boat Show. Who am I speaking with, and who's your question for?
Nauti Buoys. You're speaking to Bruce from New York.
Oh, hi, Bruce.
New York, all right.
I have a question for Glenn.
Oh, no.
Glenn,
Yeah, I've been drinking, so
I
let's
hear
just...
you. I hear you reference the North quite often.
I did what?
I hear you reference the North quite often in these podcasts.
Yeah, we do reference the North.
We do reference... Oh, yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Is it safe to assume you're from New York?
Yes, I am from New York.
Would that be Long Island? I hear Riverhead come
Correct.
up.
I know who this is. This is Mr. Bruce Rosenberg. So,
geez.
one of my old customers. So, Mr.
Wait a
Bruce,
minute.
what's going on today?
No, I thought last names were off limits on the radio. But anyway,
They can
we're
edit
back.
it all out. It's 2 days. Believe me, they
back.
edit out half
Glenn.
my show. Don't worry about it.
Glenn, I have lots of questions.
You're only allowed one. So
Just
go.
one. I've already yelled at the other guy because he was running on.
One question.
One question.
Okay, I got to think what to use it on. Okay. Does it have to be mechanical or can it be personal?
I don't know. Liquor's quicker.
Personal.
I can't.
I said
Okay.
liquor is quicker.
Oh my God.
Go ahead, Bruce, or we're going to cut you
All
off.
right, Glenn.
What?
Reference me this.
Reference you.
I'm having trouble with my electrical system
Okay.
and the battery. So my first plan of attack was I changed one side, but
Right.
it didn't correct the issue.
Okay.
So I called a mechanic. I had to find a mechanic. Oh my
Since
God.
I ran away.
I got a mechanic, and he did find a short system coming from the charging system, the external whatever charging. So, battery
No, he's breaking up. You're breaking up,
You're
Bruce.
not in
told that
range.
my AGMs would not be sufficient to work with the deep cycle. So, is it safe to say now I have to change the other side?
So he...
Or-
You can't mix
or-
AGM and deep cycle. Well, it sounds a little more involved, but if you have electrical problems,
No,
Sometimes
not
the-
involved.
you had
It's
dead
very
batteries.
I had dead batteries, but now it's charging. So whatever was killing it has been rectified.
Okay.
And now I have 2 deep cycle and 2 AGM.
Can't mix them.
So
Well, not
that's my question. Do I need to change the other 2 batteries to all
Yeah.
the same?
all 4 should be the same. All 4 should either
Yeah.
be, wet or AGM. Don't go to gel because then you new alternators like the Tierras had, and that system never worked well. So yes, all 4
you know
batteries
my-
should be the same.
You know I always start low, so you know it won't be gels.
No,
You know me now.
Right. So I would go with
But
all
anyway,
4 AGMs.
Guys, it's so nice to hear you guys.
Oh, great.
I wish you guys all the best on this endeavor,
Okay.
and I will listen to you guys now that I'm privy to this.
Well, listen, when you come
okay.
down, you got to come down this winter, and then we can start drinking.
And I will come down. Listen, I'll be down quite often because now I have a place. I have a place down there in Newport Richie.
Nice.
Okay, so let's close this up. I already yelled at the other
So
guy.
can I be a guest on the podcast?
Absolutely, Bruce.
Absolutely.
So we're going to hang up on you now.
We're gonna hang up on you. Talk to you later. Bye.
Somebody needs a drinking buddy.
Yeah. All right, Bruce. Hey, thanks. Thanks for thanks.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
See you all, guys.
Thanks for
Bye.
calling in. Definitely listen. Take care. Only your friends. My God. Okay, so we're getting to the point where we kind of have to wrap things up, and I'm getting weird looks from Samantha over there. So, all right. So, what I would say is this: we usually do an end of show tip. I'd like to give a tip, and it goes like this: the economy has affected everybody. Let's not pretend here, right? So, I would say the current administration or whatever's going on, The economy has affected everybody, from eggs, bread, boats, cars. It's just affected people. But my tip goes like this. Don't put off buying a boat. The making of the memories is more important than the politics or anything else, right? So you may need to buy a smaller boat, a less expensive boat. But call Chris, get a loan, get something you can afford, and get on the water and make memories. Because if you do what people are saying to do now, and they say, oh, just wait, interest rates will come down, wait. Don't wait. Those memories, they're gone. So do it today. Buy a boat, make the memories. And, later on you could sell the small boat and buy a bigger boat, but just make the memories. So that's my tip. Glenn,
take his.
Okay, Chris, do you? Chris, do you have a tip for us?
I echo what you said. Life's short. Get it done on the water. Yeah. Enjoy your family and take advantage of what's out there. Just don't let it pass you by. Go out and explore.
Yeah, I agree. And Captain Happy.
So
what's your tip?
I lost all the things. So on the Mercruiser thing, because I'm still certified, if you're going to go in the engine room, okay, what I'm supposed to do is safety goggles. Because a million times you start the motor up, all the rust on the belts hitting itself in the eyes. No loose clothing, because it'll get caught in the belts and everything.
Yeah. And
take your rings off.
Yeah.
Even though your bride might this and that. Because if you do an electrical, God forbid that ring goes in between. No electrical, no loose clothing, and what was the other one?
And safety goggles.
Safety goggles, yes. Yeah. That's my
actually.
That's why I'm half blind.
I'm kind of agreeing with his tip. Usually I don't, but no, that's a great tip.
Low proof alcohol.
Yeah.
No high proof.
Low proof alcohol. So, all right, listen.
What do you think I got money? I got a weak stomach anyway.
So we're coming to the end of the show. Let me just say this. For marine surveying information down here in South Florida, we do marine surveys. Call the same number, 772-773-2600, or go to our website, www.pinnaclemarinegroup.com. So I'd like to thank our guest, Chris Berkeley from Yacht Lender. Great guy, and definitely give him a call if you're buying a boat. Also,
he said he's coming to Russia with me.
Oh, God. I don't have to thank Glenn, so we'll skip over that.
Glenn's got a tip on Russian charter boats.
Yeah. Russian charter boats. Oh, my God.
You get to shoot guns off of them.
Yeah. This is going to be bad.
Oh, God.
All right. I'd like to thank our producer, Micah Murley, and our production assistant, Samantha. So please hit that subscribe, follow, or like button. Tune in next Thursday or every Thursday for the Nauti Buoys Boat Show. Every week we will have exciting guests, informative news. May you have fair winds, following seas, and tight lines. God bless you, everybody.